Right, everybody, today we're going to talk about NoodleTools. If you can make it through this video, then you'll have done all of the work that you need to do for English today. If we were in class together, this is probably would be one of those days where it's like a nightmare because we're all trying to figure out something on the computer. Hopefully doing that on the video will actually be a little bit easier because you can pause at any point. And then of course, I'm always available to help you troubleshoot. So NoodleTools is a website that our school library pays for so that you can have a subscription. We use it because it will help you to make sure that any works cited or bibliographies, basically lists of sources that you use, are perfectly formatted. Oh, updates will complete when you restart. Meanwhile, your computer is still protected. Don't update. Okay. You might have used websites like EasyBib, Citation Machine. What I've noticed is that a lot of times now they're making you pay for it to get the full citation, but they're not always accurate, and I'll show you why in a minute. It will also help you organize quotations, make in-text or parenthetical citations, like when we use the author's last name and page number, and to produce your annotations. And in this case, when I say annotations, I mean that second type of annotation where we're writing a paragraph that evaluates the source. Here's an example of why you should definitely use NoodleTools. This is from one of my seniors last year. They were doing a project on a play called A Raisin in the Sun, and they wanted to cite the source, and they used EasyBib, and they accidentally cited EasyBib on EasyBib. So this is what it produced for them. This is what you want to avoid. Here's another reason why EasyBib and Citation Machine and other citation generators aren't great. Here's a clipping that I took from the Associated Press in January for my 12th grade class. And look at the title, New Virus Infects More Than 6,000 in China, Other Countries. And that was just in January. Think about where you're in now. So first of all, that's a little bit crazy. But second of all, notice who it's written by. It's written by the Associated Press. The Associated Press is a news organization that publishes articles for other newspapers to use. So if you were to open up the Seattle Times, a lot of articles would actually be written by the Associated Press. It's an organization. It's not an individual person. There's no man or woman out there named Associated Press who's writing. When I put this website into citationmachine.net, this is what it produced for me. Press, the Associated. New virus infects more than 6,000 in China and other countries. This is wrong. The very first part of any entry in Emily format has to be last name, first name of a person. This is not a person's name. So if you use Citation Machine, a lot of times it's going to pull whatever information it can find that it thinks looks like a person's name and try to say that's the author. And a lot of times you're going to end up with an author like Press, the Associated, or Times, the New York. And that is incorrect. That's not proper Emily format. So that's a little bit about why we want to use NoodleTools. Now we're going to get started talking about how to log into NoodleTools. So you're going to go to Plus Portals, you're going to go to Groups, and you're going to go to the library just like you were trying to access a database. Then at the top of that list of databases, here's the NoodleTools information. Student logon, the same as your school login to your computer. First name, last name. Password is password. For school validation, Eastside, and the password is rocks. So let me show you what I mean. First of all, if you have used NoodleTools at EC Middle School, you're just going to use your first name, last name, and the password. If password as a password doesn't work, go through forgot my password. You're going to have to go back into your email, and then it's going to let you reset the password. So again, if you already use NoodleTools at EC Middle School, it would be first name, last name without the at eastsidecatholicSchool.org part. If you have never used NoodleTools before, you're going to go to Register. Once you click on Register, you're going to see this. The school library username, remember what I read from that page on Plus Portals, is Eastside. The school library password, from what I read on that page on Plus Portals, is Rocks. Then I'm going to click Continue. Now you're going to fill in your account information. Make sure you click I am a student, expected year of graduation. Your personal ID is first name, last name. It should be available for you. Make your password, retype the word password, your initials are your initials, and then for phone number, you can use your own cell phone number or you can just do 0000, and then you're going to click register. Okay, pause for a minute, go set up your account, and then come back to this video when you've done that. Okay, so hopefully you paused and you made your account NoodleTools. Now let's talk about creating the project. So you're going to create a project called Mini Research Project, and this is going to be where you keep your citations, and it'll also let me access it so that I can give you feedback on it. So when you log into NoodleTools, the screen will look like this. I'm going to go to Projects. Okay, this looks complicated, but I'll walk you through it. So on the project screen, I'm going to click on New Project. So that's step 1. Click on New Project. This box is going to pop up. Step 2 is to enter the project name. I want you to make it yours last name dot first name. And the reason why I want you to do that is so that when they all show up for me, it's alphabetized in alphabetical order by last name. That makes it a lot easier for me. So you're going to do last name dot first name. So if my name is Susie Smith, my project title is going to be Smith dot Susie. Step 3, you're going to make sure that you choose MLA, Handbook, 8th edition. And step 4, you want to make sure that you choose advanced for the citation level. If you choose starter or junior, you're not going to get access to the types of citations that you need to make. If you choose starter or junior, you're not going to access to the types of citations that you need to make. So make sure that you choose advanced and then you click submit. Now this page is going to pop up that gives you information for project details. Ignore everything in this box. Sharing and collaboration. This is where you're going to share it so that I can see it too. Sharing is project inbox. For share with a project inbox, type the name for your class. If you're in 4th period, the name for your class is P4 Research Project. If you're in 5th period, the name for the class is P5 Research Project. And if you just start typing P4 Research, P5 Research, it should pop up automatically. And then for your name, of course, type your first and last name and then press done. And that means it'll be shared with me. Okay, pause for a minute, go create your project, share it with the class inbox, and then come back to this video. All right, next I'm going to talk about how to create a citation in NoodleTools. So when I'm on the NoodleTools page, look at the top half of my screen. This is what the screen looks like when you log in. Here are the list of projects that I have, and I'm on the Projects tab. I'm going to go over to the Sources tab. And then once I'm in the Sources tab, I'm going to click on Create a New Citation. When I click on Create a New Citation, this box is going to pop up. First, it's going to say, where is it? Database, website, printer in hand, viewed, heard live, file, app, ebook, other. You're going to click on database because remember, I'm requiring you to use the EC Library databases to cite these sources, or excuse me, to do your research. Then you're going to click on where it was originally from. I'd say from looking at your source evaluation number 1, 95% of you found a newspaper article. It's possible that it was from a magazine or a journal, but again, I think 95% of you found a newspaper article. So go back and look at where it came from, figure out where it was originally published. Okay, at this point, I'm going to transition over to talking about citing it online so that you can see how I do it. Okay, so I click database and I click newspaper, and now I'm going to go into, actually, I want to use the model that I wrote, and it's from the New Yorker, which is actually a magazine. So I'm going to go back and change this to magazine. Okay, so the name of the database that I found this from was ProQuest. So if I start typing ProQuest in my library's databases, it'll pop up. URL, I'm going to go into my source evaluation number 1, and I'm going to copy and paste the URL. You can skip DOI. DOI means Digital Object Identifier, and it's a different type of URL, but you can just skip that. Most recent date of access, just press today. Okay, now I'm going to start giving information about the article itself. So I want to go and find the authors of the article. And in this case, the author of my article is Emily Witt. So I'm going to go back and type in Emily Witt. There's only one author. If there was more than one author, I would click Add Contributor. Okay, the article title is called From Parkland to Sunrise. NoodleTools is automatically going to format the title for you, so you don't need to put it in quotation marks. So I'm just going to write From Parkland to Sunrise. I don't need to write English translation of article's title because it's already in English. And pages, I don't think that the New Yorker gives pages, but I'll just go back and look really quickly. Oops. Okay, I'm going to skip pages. If there were pages, you would include them here. The name of the magazine is called The New Yorker. Okay, now for volume issue, I think that I need to go back and look at it to see if I can find out the volume and issue of the magazine. February 13th, 2019. On the New Yorker, sometimes they'll say where if it was originally published in the magazine if you scroll down. So I'll scroll down and see if I can find it. If not, I'm just going to skip that. Again, I'm skipping, nope, can't find it. I'm skipping anything that I can't find the information for. Publication date, it was published on February 13th, 2019. So publication date is February 13th, 2019. Okay, now I get to annotation. My annotation, again, this time I was talking about annotation type number 2. Annotation type number 2 is where you're writing your evaluation of the source. And the good news is that you've written everything in your annotation by doing this. All right, so first for your annotation, you're going to write evaluation. I'm going to put it in bold so it stands out. And then I'm going to do the 5 parts of the CRAT test, and I'm going to put that in bold so that it stands out when I'm creating it. So I'm going to take the C, I'm going to go in and I'm going to copy and paste it here. I'm going to put the R in bold. I'm going to go back to my source evaluation and take R, and I'm going to copy and paste it here. I'm going to put the first A in bold, go back to my source evaluation, copy and paste it here. I'm going to take the, oh, sorry, I did B because it comes after A. I'm going to take the next one. I'm going to copy and paste it. And finally the P. And I'm going to go and copy and paste it. Then I'm going to write key quotation. And I'm going to go get my key quotation with my MLA format and copy and paste it here. Okay, so this entire thing represents my annotation. There's just one thing that I want to go back and fix, which is that I noticed that when I copied and pasted from this box, it didn't keep the italics for the title of the magazine, The New Yorker. So I want to go back and just make sure that I fix that and that I italicize it. Okay, so as you can see, you're not producing anything new today. You're just copying and pasting from OneNote. Okay, now I'm going to go and press save. Now I have a beautiful citation that is automatically formatted perfectly in MLA format, and that includes my annotation, which is the evaluation, CRAAP, and do you see how it's easier to read it because those bold letters stand out, and then my key quotation, and I'm done with source number 1. All right, so now I want you to go and press pause, transfer the information from source evaluation number 1 into NoodleTools, and then come back to this video when you're done. All right, congratulations, you're done with today's work for English. Next week on Monday, Tuesday, you're going to find article number 2. On Wednesday, Thursday, you're going to complete source evaluation number 2. On Friday, you're going to put it all together into the annotated bibliography that you'll turn in to turnitin.com. If you want to get ahead on English work for next week, go ahead and find article number 2, do source evaluation number 2, put it in NoodleTools. You can do all of that whenever you want to, but just know that that's what we're working on next week. Okay, email me if you have any questions. Bye, everybody.